Valley Tuesdays.
Hi everybody, I'm Kathy Ellswick, president of Tasty Blend Foods. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I want to show you guys how to make one of my favorite go-to treats using our Teays Valley biscuit mix. We're going to list everything that you're going to need to get started on the screen for you, and we're going to keep it moving here. So we've started with a 1/4 cup of warm water. You don't want it cold, you don't want it steaming hot, because we're going to go in with a packet of quick rise yeast. Now that's really, really important because it's going to work a lot faster than your regular yeast. So you want to put your yeast in your warm water, and yeast has to be fed. It likes sugar. Sugar is like nourishment. So we're going to put in 1 tablespoon of sugar. We're going to mix that stuff together, and we're going to let it kind of just hang out. So then we're going to go in with our biscuit mix. We're going to get it opened up. We're going to dump it on top. And then we're going to go in with a cup of buttermilk on top of that. Now this yeast is just going to give our biscuit mix a little bit more flavor, and it is going to change that texture just a tiny bit so that we end up with a more of a hot roll style texture than a real soft, pillowy biscuit. So we'll put in our cup of milk, buttermilk, whole fat buttermilk, and we'll mix this together until it becomes a little bit of a dough ball. Now that we have this all mixed together and we have a great little dough ball, we're going to put plenty of flour on our counter. It doesn't matter what kind of flour you have. It doesn't matter what kind you want to use. We're just going to make sure that we put plenty of flour out, because the more flour we have, the less this is going to stick and the less problem we're going to have getting it to make a nice roll. So once we get flour out, we just dump our dough ball down, and we'll go in with some more flour because we don't want it to stick. And then really the only thing you got to do here is mash it out flat. Now if you have kids, this is something I loved to do when I was a kid. I would do this all the time with my dad and my aunt, and you just pat it all out, get your hands in there, hit it with a little extra flour, and then we're just going to roll it out to a pretty thin consistency. And then once we get a nice shape out of it, I like to try to make it so there's no holes. Just makes it easier to roll that way. Just pinch it together and it'll stay. I'm going to go in with pepper jack cheese. Now I like to use the sliced cheese just because it's less messy. And again, if you're doing this with your kids, all you got to do is just lay those slices down, as much or as little as you want. So today I'm going to go with cheese and pepperoni, as much or as little as you'd like. I've done this with salami. I've put in banana peppers. I've done onions. It's really whatever you want to put in it. So I'm going to layer this pepperoni on here, and then we're going to get it rolled up. Once we're happy with the amount of pepperonis that we have put on here, we're going to fold the sides over just a little bit so that we have a nice square edge. You want to do that on both sides. Got a nice square edge like that. You want to fold the tops down over your pepperonis till you get a nice kind of square to start with. And then we're just going to start rolling this. We're going to start right in the middle, and we're just going to roll it up. Now once we get to the middle, we're going to hold here. We're going to come over, and we're going to work it all the way to the edge. Then we're going to hold, and we're going to work it back over to the edge here. Once we've got a nice little bit of a roll, we'll start rolling from the middle, and we'll follow it all the way to the edge, just until we have a nice roll like this. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nice serrated blade. I'm going to cover it with a little bit of flour, and then really, really gently with like a sawing action, because this dough is so soft, we're just going to cut them however big we want them. If you want big ones, cut them big. If you want small ones, you can cut them small. We'll go down and cut this whole thing, and they're going to come out like this. Now if you lose, you come unrolled, don't panic. Don't panic. After you spray your pan, you just tuck it in there, and you just shape it right back up to the shape that you want. And then you just snuggle the next one right up next to it, press them, till they come together like that on the pan. Once I get these all sliced, I'm going to throw them into a preheated 400-degree oven. They're going to take about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how brown and crunchy you want the tops. Now you can let these go as long or as little as you'd like, depending on how dark you want these. I like mine to have a little bit of crisp on the outside and be nice and soft on the inside. So while these are cooling, I'm going to take a stick of melted butter, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, just like that. And then I'm just going to put this all over the top here. And that's going to give some nice buttery, garlicky flavor. If you want to add some parsley, you're more than welcome to do that. Now that we have these all buttered, I've just stacked them up on a plate so that we can come through and grab them. I've also went ahead and just put a little bit of store-bought marinara sauce in a cup so that we can dip them. Remember that you can find this recipe and all the other recipes that we've done on our website, tastyblend.com. And don't forget when you're out in the store to look for the big red barn, because after all, nobody has to know that it came from a mix.